Hello friends, I'm Tim Wildsmith, and in this video I'm going to be sharing about my trip to the Museum of the Bible in Washington D.C. for the launch of the Society of Bible Craftsmanship. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I went to Washington, D.C. I visited the Museum of the Bible, which is the second time I've actually been to the museum. It's fantastic. And it was for this launch of a new thing called the Society of Bible Craftsmanship. Mark Bertrand from Bible Design Blog had invited me to come be a part of it, and I shared about it that day on Instagram. I kind of showed all these different stories and stuff of me being there, and I promised to share more about it and do like a full kind of vlog recap. So that's what I'm here to do, to share a little bit about the experience and to tell you more about this new Society of Bible Craftsmanship. So it starts with Mark Bertrand. If you don't know who that is, Mark, lectio.org is his website. He's a writer and a pastor, but he's probably best known for being the creator of Bible Design Blog. Mark was really at the forefront, 10, 15, 20 years ago of writing about Bible design, Bible craftsmanship. And if you talk to anybody in the Bible publishing world, they'll tell you that Mark significantly influenced the world of Bible publishing. And so, I honestly was not too familiar with Mark's work and didn't really understand how big of a deal he was when I named my thing Bible Review Blog, which is way too close to Bible Design Blog when I started that a couple years ago. When I got started doing this, Mark had kind of slowed down doing what he was doing, and he and I had never spoken, but I joined his email list and I've read a bunch of his old reviews on his website for years, and so I got an email one day from Mark's website. And Mark was writing to announce this Society of Bible Craftsmanship and this conference that was happening a couple weeks later in Washington, D.C. at the Museum of the Bible. And I was like, man, that sounds really great. And I looked at my calendar, and Becca and I were supposed to lead worship that weekend at our church here in Nashville, and we kind of split that with another couple. And literally that same day, the other couple was like, hey, can we trade you? We'd like to lead worship. And it was that weekend. I was like, oh man, I'm really tempted to go. And then the next day, I got a second email from Mark, but it was actually a personal email. And Mark was like, hey, I don't know if you've heard about this, but he was very complimentary to me, which was cool for me because Mark is somebody who I've really learned to love his work, and I appreciate all that he's done. And he's kind of a legend in this world. And he was like just really complimentary of what I'm doing with Bible Review Blog. And so we had a few back and forth exchanges. It was really funny because I said to Mark, I was like, hey, I probably owe you an apology. I should not have called my thing Bible Review Blog. It's way too close to Bible Design Blog. And he was very gracious about that. He actually said, I have a bigger problem with the fact that you have a beard and tortoiseshell glasses. And I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. So I said to Mark, hey, can I come? Can I? And he was like, are you available? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to come. He's like, that would be incredible. So I had the invite from Mark. I knew that Klaus from 2K Denmark was going to be there. You hear me talk about 2K Denmark all the time. It's just like a legendary Bible typesetting and design company. He was going to be there as part of the conference. He was part of the steering committee for this. I was really excited. So bought some plane tickets, got a hotel room, got the permission from Becca, and I flew up the last weekend of August and literally was there for like 36 hours. I walked to the National Mall at night and got to see, all the monuments and stuff like that, which was really, really cool. And then that morning, it was just a one-day event at the Museum of the Bible. And so I woke up, I met this guy named Sean, who's a Bible Review Blog fan, in the lobby of the hotel. He was like, hey, you're Tim. And I was like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, I'm here for the same thing. So we walked through downtown DC over to the museum. We got in there, and they were doing these like guided tours. On the fourth floor of the museum is this exhibit called The History of the Bible, which hands down, the Museum of the Bible, if you've never been, you've got to go check this place out. It's really cool. They have so many things in this museum, permanent exhibits, rotating exhibits. Some of their permanent stuff is really cool about the story of the Bible and the culture of the Bible, the impact of the Bible. But for me, I would say that the History of the Bible on floor 4 is the most impressive part of the museum. It literally starts with the earliest manuscripts of the Hebrew and Greek Bible, but it kind of walks you through the Bible from its earliest moments all the way till today with modern Bible publication. And it's going to be there, right there at the end of that exhibit now, there's a little blurb there about the Society for Bible Craftsmanship and what they're doing and some modern Bibles. So we spent probably an hour on a tour. That's where I met Mark and Klaus and Johannes from 2K Denmark, and we got to hang out with them a little bit and go through this tour. And then I went back after the tour was over, and I was in there taking all of these. I'll put a bunch of these photos in here so you can see them, just different photos from this space. An absolutely beautiful museum, really cool to see the history of the Bible. That's something that I'm really into. I read a lot of books about how the Bible became what it is and the history of the Bible. So it was really cool for a few hours in the morning just to hang out and be in the museum and check things out. And then Mark found me and took me over to this like little private coffee shop inside the museum, and he and I got to hang out and just talk and get to know one another. And it was, again, really cool for a guy who has been so influential in this world to be so kind and hospitable towards me and really encouraging about the work that I'm doing here with Bible Review Blog and wanting to talk about ways that we can collaborate. And I've got some ideas for that, so hopefully Mark's watching this and he's excited about it. But yeah, it's just, he's a really, really good guy. And he really cares about the Bible and about the world of Bible publishing and design and beauty. And so that was really cool. So the morning was just kind of hanging out at the museum, meeting people, stuff like that. Throughout the day, I met a bunch of different people. I'm going to give shout-outs to Tim and Christy. I met them. They were asking me to take selfies. I was like, this is crazy that people are asking me to take a selfie. Jordan, Mark, I met a lot of great people. Joyce from Cambridge Bibles. I've emailed with Joyce a bunch. I saw her and Tom from Cambridge there. Got to meet Jim from Tyndale because Cambridge and Tyndale were kind of the sponsoring partners for this event. So then in the afternoon, we went up to their event space up at the top of the Museum of the Bible, and it was basically this conference, kind of a lecture series, sort of. Klaus got us started with this really fascinating journey through the Bible, as basically starting off with like cave paintings and how the letter shapes have changed. It was really good. He had this very interactive slideshow where you could see things morphing and changing and really talking about the letter forms and what, that's what he does. He creates Bible typesettings and designs, and he talked a lot about beauty. He talked a lot about working with the Bible and wanting to make it beautiful to honor what the text of the Bible is. I was actually really moved by some of the things that Klaus said. He was very, very funny. He told me actually, he was talking with some people after he gave his speech, and he was like telling some inside stories, and he turned and looked at me and was like, now you can't say anything like about this on the internet. So I promise, Klaus, I'm not going to let your secrets out. I'm not going to do that, but really, really great guy. After that, a guy from actually here in Nashville, Dr. David Price from Vanderbilt University, he talked about the era of Martin Luther and the Reformation and some of the art. Lucas, I wrote this guy's name, Krogh and Hans Holbein. So these artists that really were influential in the Bible design early on, all the way back to the Reformation. And then Mark got up and he kind of did this lecture about a little bit of a story about his own history with the blog and writing about the Bible, but then kind of curating the future of Bible design. And what does it look like? And where is the Bible headed? And it's really throughout this process, they were kind of announcing and unveiling this new Society for Bible Craftsmanship. That was what they were announcing. This was kind of the launch event for that, and they shared about a lot of different things about the society that are going to be coming up. So I'm going to take you over here. I'm going to bring this up so you can see it on the screen. This is the new page on the Museum of the Bible's website for the Society of Bible Craftsmanship, and you can see here, you can kind of scroll down and it tells you what it is. Here, a central task of the Society will be to periodically gather and exhibit new publications from around the world. The Society's awards program will recognize the finest work in a broad range of categories, with winners exhibited at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. So they're putting together, they're going to be helping people learn more about the Bible, the way that it's produced, and they're going to be doing an awards season every year where they honor some of the best produced Bibles. It's a really cool idea. If I click here, you'll see the steering committee. So there's Dr. Krogh from the Museum of the Bible, got to meet him. There's Klaus from 2K Denmark. There's Mark. So these guys are the ones who are kind of in charge of things and really getting it going. You can see that they've announced here a second conference. The next conference is going to be in April at the Museum of the Bible. I'm planning to be there for that, April 15th, 2023. I got it on my calendar already. You'll be able to register for that soon. And then you see the membership levels. So there's different membership levels that you can be. I'm signing up as the individual membership, so that's going to be $150 a year to be part of the society, but you get free admission to all of the events and the seminars, the online things as well. They have some other seminars and events. I don't know if they have this up here listed, but there's some things happening between now and April for the society. You get to be in a listing on the reviewers page of the society website. You get to vote for the People's Choice Award at the annual awards, and you get a membership to the Museum of the Bible, which is really cool. So you've got to go visit there. So here's some of their, here it is, upcoming events. Society of Bible Craftsmanship Lunch and Learn. This is going to be a virtual event on November 23rd. And they're going to have another one in February. So these are things that you get to go to for free if you join, but you can also pay to be at them and participate in them even if you don't. So that's the website, and right now you can notice down here, if I scroll to the bottom, if you want to join, you simply call customer service at Museum of the Bible. I think their plan is eventually to have a link on this page where you can do just that. But a few other things I noted about, one of the things that Mark said in his talk was that they want to celebrate what's happening now with the world of Bible publishing. They want to increase public appreciation and knowledge of the work that's happening in the world of Bibles, and they want to pass down and encourage best practices. So they are going to be doing, like I said, the awards. There's going to be an excellence in classical Bible design. There's going to be the most innovative edition of the Bible, the best economy edition of the Bible, that People's Choice Award that you can vote for if you join, and then a distinctive craftsmanship award. So there's a bunch of different categories, a wide range. They're not just celebrating premium Bibles. It's any kind of creative, good use of Bible publishing and craftsmanship. They want to acknowledge those sorts of things. So it's just a kind of a professional society to bring people together around the topic of the craft of the Bible and the creation of the Bible and how that's going to work. So I'm really excited about this. I thought the conference, just that one-day conference, for me was like so worth it to be at the Museum of the Bible, to see their collections and their exhibits, and then to hear from 3 different fabulous speakers, and then to meet all of these other people who really care about the Bible and are fans of it. It seems to me like, I think about all those really fun Facebook groups that many of us are a part of, Everything Bibles, the Bible Exchange, and all the different fan groups for the different translations and the different publishers. And it felt to me like an in-person version of those groups and some of the conversations we have. I got to meet some of those very people, and this one came together pretty quick, but now that we know the one in April is on the schedule, I'm excited because I think a lot of you are going to want to come be a part of that, to visit the museum, to hang out in D.C. together. I'm already thinking about making an even bigger trip about it and doing some Bible review blog meetups for people there, that sort of thing. So anyway, I wanted to share about my trip to D.C. I wanted to share about the Museum of the Bible and the Society of Bible Craftsmanship because it's just something that I've gotten excited about over the last few weeks. And I think it's really cool to see Mark kind of doing something new and helping lead the charge with Klaus and the folks from the Museum of the Bible. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I don't know how much more involved I'm going to get, but I'd love to be involved if they'd have me and to help them spread the word about it like I'm doing with this video, because I really think it's a cool idea. So if you have more questions about this, if you want to know specific things, I'm going to put the link to that website in the description of this video. You can also drop a comment and I'll get back to you with an answer. As I said, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this on my channel as the events come up and some other news happens, but really cool thing to be a part of. So definitely check that website out. Again, ask me questions if you have them. If you enjoyed this video, as always, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can even become one of my members here by clicking the join button at the bottom of this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.